Hi everybody, welcome to the Thumb. So it's like March 3rd of 2024. It's been a pretty mild winter, and now that it's spring, I'm getting a little bit of spring fever. So I think tomorrow I'm going to plant some oats. I'm not going to get real crazy about it. I'm just going to, I got to spread fertilizer anyway, so I'm going to spread fertilizer, dump some oats in the fertilizer spreader, and broadcast the oats onto it's like 15 acres that I'm going to plant. And then I'm going to run over it real quick with this little disc. Yeah, it's just oats. It's not like it's a big money maker, but I don't think there's going to be any big money makers this year. I was going to plant like 40 acres of black beans, but I couldn't get a contract, so I'm only going to plant about 15 acres, and if I end up having to store them in the granary, I will. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but black beans is about the only thing you can make money on this year, so everybody wants to grow them, and I was a little too late at trying to get a contract. If corn and soybeans, if you could only grow them on a contract, the price would probably still be good on those too. So sometimes farmers are their own worst enemies. So anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna grease up the old disc, and I'm probably gonna grease the roller up while I'm here. Not that there's a lot to grease on it, but I'll just do it. And yeah, and I got my chainsaw with me, and I might do a little wood cutting, and nothing real special today. Maybe even look for some shed antlers or something, but it's Sunday, so I don't want to get too carried away. I know we're not supposed to work on Sundays, but I don't really consider this work. This is just, I don't think God wants us to sit around and watch TV all day either. So, yeah, and right now it's just me and God, well, and you guys. So, so yeah, I'm not gonna bore you to death with watching me grease this or anything, but that's what I'm up to. So I was driving out to where I was gonna cut wood, and there's a little tree hanging across the trail here. So I'm gonna cut that up first. Yeah, I decided I wasn't gonna bother getting too carried away because it's still pretty wet. I can get through with the tractor okay, but if I start trying to pull a trailer full of wood, it's gonna be a little more tricky. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this tree up and just throw it in the bucket, I guess. And then I'm gonna just go over and kind of cut down a few trees, and I'll explain that later. Okay, so a lot of you real woodcutters out there would probably kind of laugh at me for messing with this small stuff like this. The way I look at it is, it was laying across the trail. Got to do something with it anyway. I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, I'll get I don't know, probably a day's worth of heating my house with this. It's not bad wood. It's pretty dense wood compared to some of the ash that's laying out there yet. It's getting pretty punky out there. I don't know if this is... I'm not sure if that's ash or elm. I guess I could try to split it and see. I think it's ash. Yeah, there's a fine example of what most of it looks like out there in the woods. Like I said, it was laying here anyway, and could have just pushed it off into the weeds, but I don't know. I see that as kind of wasteful. If I was like in the middle of my woodcutting campaign, that's probably what I would have done, but in this case, why not? So I didn't realize it, but on this part, my microphone went dead on me. So long story short, basically I just got to trim this ditch bank and get it ready to put a fence up. I've talked about the fence before, you know, it's yeah. So yeah, there's about 3 or 4, well, there's quite a big patch of big trees I gotta trim, and then all the little trees where it crosses the bigger ditch. But anyway, back to the video. Okay, so I told you I would explain later. Well, it's later. So yeah, I told you about like tomorrow I'm gonna plant some oats, and then after that probably the next priority is getting the fence up around the property here. Yeah, it's gonna be twofold. One, to hopefully keep some of the deer out, and then there's just a lot of land here, space where I can graze the cattle too. So yeah, originally this whole woods was, when I first started dating my wife and stuff, my father-in-law used to pasture his young cattle back here, and I don't know how many he had, 15, 20 of them back here. He just dropped them off in the summer and pick them up in the fall. Didn't do anything special, but yeah, I'm going to move fences and try to clean up the woods a little bit with the cattle, and you know, I don't know if I'll really make any money, but it'll be just kind of won't really lose any either, other than building the fence. But hopefully just keeping the deer out will pay for that fence. But behind me here, I'm kind of standing pretty much right on the property line right now, and I get along good with the neighbors here. I cut a lot of trails through their woods and maintain things, do food plots for them, and actually this year they're going to have about a 6-acre alfalfa food plot. If I can get some hay off it, great. If not, hopefully it'll get deer filled up before they try to jump my fence. Well, my microphone went dead, so I'm just on the phone microphone now. So hopefully, hopefully you can hear me okay. Uh, yeah, on this side, I cut the one tree down. Everything went uneventful. Well, actually, right where I wanted it to. That's not very common. But then on these other ones, well, it's got that widowmaker there. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, you can see it leaning in there, and so I thought, well, that little cherry tree wouldn't really be going anywhere. So that's pretty well cut all the way through. So instead of making headway, now I have two widowmakers, and so I started to cut down that third one, the one on the very outside there, and the saw tightened up and started to lean towards me a little bit. So I'm gonna let Mother Nature knock that one the rest of the way down. Hopefully I got it cut through far enough. On this side, I still got I decided I'm gonna cut this clump of ash trees down there. One of them's dead anyway. I think the rest of them probably grew up off of that stump. They're never gonna make anything to speak of other than just ugly brush. Like one or two of them's probably a zombie ash anyway. But yeah, so I got this kind of cut down to the water line on this side of the ditch. There's still some shrub brush there and stuff, but it's not that big a deal. I don't know, I might come back here when I clean that up over there. I might just kind of back blade all the brush out of there, clean her up a little nicer with the skid loader. But yeah, it makes it pretty easy to some of these small trees, you know, with that pole saw, just kind of takes the work out of it, really, or the back breaking work anyway. You can just kind of reach down, cut trees, and let them fall where they may. But yeah, it's pretty handy, and Milwaukee's not paying me to say that. But it doesn't really matter what brand it is. I think a pole saw is pretty handy for a lot of different things. But so anyway, that's where I'm going to end it for the day, and I guess tune in tomorrow or the next time, and hopefully I'll get some footage planting oats. Won't be anything real exciting, but you might get a kick out of it. Yeah, and if you want to help me out, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, and I guess thanks for watching, and take her easy.